Talk about a glass house. I mean, Trump has cheated on every wife he's had. He met Marla Maples while he was still married to the mother of his children, Ivana.
The topic that we are going to discuss in this video might get my show completely censored. Because if I've learned one thing from Jimmy Kimmel, it's that you're not allowed to talk about Melania. But boy do I want to talk about Melania, because Megyn Kelly is talking about Melania Trump, the fake marriage that she and her husband have, and the rumored affair that seems to be a little less of a rumor and a little more true every single day. Now, we covered previously how Melania did not take the trip to China with Donald Trump, and how their relationship is really transactional. But boy oh boy does the rant that Megyn Kelly just went on make me want to ask even more questions. We are going to get into it, but first I want to start with the rumored White House affair that Megyn Kelly is alluding to in this clip, which we are going to check out in a second. Something that has been long discussed but underreported. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Let's check it out before we get to Megyn Kelly and also talk about Melania and Epstein at the end. Stick around for that. Let's start with this article. Trump's mysterious aide Natalie Harp reportedly given brutal nickname by MAGA insiders. The dynamic between Donald Trump and his executive assistant Natalie Harp has reportedly raised eyebrows. Her infamous admiration and loyalty for the president have time and time again given rise to affair rumors on social media. However, apart from this, Harp might have also gotten a rather embarrassing nickname within the MAGA circle because of one of her primary duties as his aide. Natalie Harp was allegedly touted to be one of Donald Trump's most devoted followers before joining his staff in 2022. Such was her attachment toward him that she was said to have written him a string of letters, one of which said, "You are all that matters to me." Little weird. A little more than just a platonic work relationship, huh? And while Melania did not travel to China at the state banquet during Donald Trump's visit, 34-year-old Natalie Harp caught everyone's attention. It turns out she is Donald Trump's executive assistant and behind-the-scenes Twitter hand for Trump's Truth Social account. Here they are together. Little closeness, huh? According to the Irish Star, Harp might not have an official title publicly, but the close MAGA circle has given her the nickname of a human printer. One book, Revenge, the inside story of Trump's return to power, mentions the reason behind the former television host getting this bizarre nickname. It is said that Harp always has a wireless printer with her to deliver Trump any news stories on the go. She also carries a battery pack to charge it so that the president can get his information in hard copy, which he usually prefers. You also see her right here once again in China. Why is Trump's tweet-typing aide Natalie Harp everywhere now? She seems to be with Trump all the time. Her duties have mostly become synonymous with maintaining a constant flow of articles, text messages, and important pieces of information aimed at the President of the United States. This has reportedly raised some tensions among other presidential aides who fear that Natalie Harp might take her job even more seriously and pass on conspiratorial and unverified content to Trump. According to the Mirror US, author Michael Wolff in his book All or Nothing, How Trump Recaptured America, mentioned that the Secret Service officials initially considered Harp a potential danger to herself as well as to the president. This is after she had once shifted from a maid's quarters to a locker room at one of Donald Trump's golf properties just to be close to him. Additionally, in the book Revenge, the inside story of Trump's return to power, the author mentions that once Melania caught Natalie Harp within Donald Trump's private quarters at Mar-a-Lago. So, it seems like Natalie and her proximity to Trump is increasingly getting weirder and more public. The First Lady did not travel to China, but the woman writing, "You're all I care about in the world. How can I stay as attached at the hip to you as possible?" to the President of the United States did. She tagged along. And for a while now, of course, we have asked questions about the closeness of Melania and Donald Trump. How it seems like there isn't any closeness. Their relationship is purely transactional. But it's not just that it's transactional, it's that it's broken and really never has been stable. And that is what Megyn Kelly surprisingly went off on in a clip that is going incredibly viral. Not only because it is incredibly punchy at this moment, but also how did she not wake up to this earlier? In the context of this article, it says a lot about what's happening in the White House.
Talk about a glass house. I mean, Trump has cheated on every wife he's had. He met Marla Maples while he was still married to the mother of his children, Ivana.
Right.
It was all over the New York papers. I'm from New York, upstate New York, but I was in New York when this all went down, the city. And he was like being touted, like he was proud of the affair. It was all over the papers. Mm-hmm. So, and by the way, Ivana, his first wife, accused him of being her. That she alleged in her first book that he was so angry over the hair transplant he got that she made him get. It was so painful that he... And she later retracted that when he ran for president, but that stood on the books for some time. I don't know whether that's true or not. I'm just saying, clearly not a great relationship there.
Right.
And then he winds up with Melania. And, if you think Trump's been faithful to Melania, okay, that's great. You got bigger issues than I can solve here.
Right.
But
Okay, so I first want to say that this is undeniably connected to the rumors surrounding a possible White House affair with Donald Trump. Whether that be Laura Loomer, whether that be Miss Harp, you have to think that Donald Trump has some love lost for Melania and some love given to the MAGA aides around him. Now, Laura Loomer was the big speculation during the 2024 election. Someone so close to Donald Trump, traveling with him all the time, still talking about how much she texts him. She says a lot that she has driven Donald Trump apart from the Tucker Carlsons, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Alex Joneses, spitting venom in his ear, saying these people are against you, against the movement. Now we have Natalie, who spends all her time cozied up, helping Donald Trump write his tweets, giving him unverified articles. It seems like the key to Donald Trump's heart is giving him misinformation that either soothes his ego or makes him upset with someone, so that he will then lash out in a post that Natalie helps him write. But that closeness clearly suggests a little bit more than just a professional relationship. And I think that's what Megyn Kelly is alluding to. That Donald Trump, as we know, has always been a bad person, and very public about what a bad person he is. And maybe, just maybe, although the president doesn't seem to have his appendages working, I don't even want to get into that. I just don't think Donald Trump can have sex anymore. Like, I don't even want to imagine that. That's disgusting. But at this point, I just can't. He falls asleep, he's a disgusting slob, his health is poor, I can't imagine it still happening. You know, he makes a lot of comments now. He's gotten a little gay, a lot of comments about dudes. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There are a lot of comments about dudes' legs, big muscly men. Dudes love to talk about loving dudes. That's just what we do. That's what sports is, right? Dudes love guys. But Donald Trump really loves guys lately. And I know there's that famous clip where he's like, I'll kiss everyone here, man and woman. I love the men too. Look how pretty he is. But it's just been a lot of Donald Trump talking about loving guys, loving big strong guys. Whenever he talks about ice, he's like, they have big muscles and we love them. Okay, all that aside, I don't think Donald Trump is physically able to have sex, and I think he would crush anyone. I'm not going to make you imagine it, it would just be disgusting. But it seems like he does have a little bit of love for the people around him. Now let me talk about Megyn Kelly for a second. Megyn R. Kelly, really girl, you just woke up to this now? You just became aware of this now? The guy who has bragged about sexual assault, Donald Trump, who talks about cheating on his wives and girlfriends, you're just waking up to the fact that he's a bad person, or he has low character. This is something 11 years into his political career that you just discovered. He attacked you in a sexist, misogynistic way, and now you're still figuring out that Donald Trump maybe doesn't treat women that well. Ooh, what a big shocker. What a big breaking story. I'm glad to see Megyn Kelly go off on Trump and share some insight we maybe hadn't previously known. But girlfriend a little late to the party, especially in the context of Epstein. I did say I wanted to talk about Epstein and Melania with a clip from Thomas Massie this morning on Meet the Press. We're going to get into that in a second. But this is the same Megyn Kelly who said, well, Jeffrey Epstein might have not been into 8-year-olds. It might have been closer to 14 or 15-year-olds. Like, what is her frame of reference for good behavior toward women? And those are not women, those are children, those are girls. I don't know how we can take Megyn Kelly seriously. I don't take a lot of these people seriously. I just grab what they say and try to analyze what perspective they're coming from and what they're trying to tell us. And a lot of the time it's just for clicks. That's the goal of all of it. Get clicks, get attention. But Megyn Kelly just now waking up to the fact that Donald Trump is a bad person is insanity. Especially as you have been trying to defend him through the saga of the Epstein files and the cover-up of the Epstein files. I'm just not really buying it. And apparently Melania is not buying it that much either because she said there were more files. She at least alluded to the fact of the cover-up. Thomas Massie brought it up this morning.
Can we expect you to name more names in the coming weeks and months?
Yes. Todd Blanche is violating the law. There's still millions of files they haven't released. We know from talking to the victims' lawyers that their own 302 forms haven't been released. We know that files have been over-redacted. I have released at least 3 names of billionaires who are implicated in this. I don't think it's possible to get to convictions with Todd Blanche at the top and with the FBI director, Kash Patel, at the top, because they've effectively both perjured themselves by saying that there's nobody else in the files. Even Melania doesn't believe that. The First Lady knows that Jeffrey Epstein didn't act alone. And here's the great thing, Kristen. Whether I'm in Congress or not, the Epstein Files Transparency Act is a law, and it goes on for years. So if we can't get this Attorney General and this FBI Director to do the right thing, the next ones who take those seats are obligated by law to release the files that these individuals are not releasing now.
Yeah, Melania knows very well that there's a cover-up of the Epstein files, and she's a part of it. Let's be real about that. I talked about the Melania lawsuit against Michael Wolff, how his countersuit against her for trying to silence him was thrown out by a Trump judge. What a surprise, a Trump judge trying to help protect the Epstein class. I don't think that's breaking news to anybody, but Melania has worked just as hard to cover up the Epstein files, silencing anyone who brings up her connection and friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell and her possible relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, not just through Trump but before Trump. And I brought this up speaking of China and Melania not being there. And this is where I want to close. Paolo Zampoli, the man who claims to have connected and introduced Melania Trump and Donald Trump, now works in the State Department as a special envoy for Trump and went with him to China. Melania didn't go to China, but the guy who claimed he introduced Melania and Donald Trump, he was there. Now he's got a cushy job in the State Department. This is the same guy who was buying modeling agencies with Jeffrey Epstein and helping to supply him with his girls. And now that guy works in the Trump administration. So if you want to talk about an Epstein class and Epstein administration, just look at the people they're trying to silence when it comes to both Donald and Melania. It's just something we should be aware of. We are going to continue to cover it and talk about it all on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you.